This gross hop synchronous motor UG8 dial governor. We have removed this the motor since it was slipping and it was not responding to raise lower command from MSB. So we have removed the motor, but we found the spare motor has only 3 cables and the working motor has 4. So we have now dropped the plan of changing the motor. We are going to change only the output shaft. So we have opened up the output shaft of the motor with 4 pin which was running and 4 cables, and now we'll change with the output shaft of the spare one. We removed the output shaft of the other motor and found the pin. You can see the pin. The earlier motor which I had removed earlier, that pin had come out, and hence the normally when you are turning the output shaft, it shouldn't turn by hand. It should turn when this gear turns, that time it should turn. By hand it should not turn. That is how I found the fault, that it was turning by hand, which it should not be doing. When you turn this output shaft, it shouldn't turn. So it is firm on the clutch, and it should turn only when this gear turns. This gear will turn only when this motor shaft turns, when this motor turns, and this motor gets signal from MSB raise and lower, and it turns this gear, which in turn turns the shaft, and shaft in turn turns the raise lower disc in the governor, which can be also turned manually by the knob, speed setting knob, on which it is slow and fast written there. So there also you can turn and raise and lower the RPM. That is manually. But when it's auto, when there is excess low, when there is a motor starts, some motor cuts in, so the load is there on the generator, and hence their RPM drops because of the high load. So the raise contactor comes into play, and it sends current to the synchronous motor. This synchronous motor, it sends signal through this cable here, which is connected to the motor, and motor turns. A motor in turn turns this gear, and it turns the shaft, output shaft, and hence it is automatically controlled. We got this problem since it was not coming on load and taking too much time, because already this governor was a problem, but I was told something else anyways. So it was not coming on load. Later on, the problem happened when the raise contactor, magnetic contactor, burnt. That is the reason. That is why when I went into the thing to investigate what is the problem, because contactor doesn't burn normally, so it burnt. Then I went and saw that this shaft is not turning when the raise command is given. Hence the contactor was continuously giving raise command to increase the RPM, but it was not increasing, and in turn the contactor burnt. So now when I opened up, I saw this output shaft is loose. Motor is okay, current is okay, everything is okay, but this output shaft on this pin is gone. It was turning by hand. You can see this shaft is turning by hand, and whereas this shaft is not, because the clutch is okay. Here the clutch is slipping. We have fixed back the motor to the governor top, and now we'll be making these electrical connections. We had already marked it. Accordingly we will connect it, since it is the same motor, so there is not a big problem for connection.